All right, hello there. Welcome to another We've Been Here video. It's kind of an important video for me because it's a huge milestone into what I wanted to do from the beginning of this channel, which was stay true to my work ethic and stay true to what I want to do. And y'all clicking on this video for a whole different reason, so skip 30 seconds a minute if you don't want to hear this. It's totally fine. But when I first started this channel, this was like one of the main things I wanted to cover. And a lot of the issues in my life was, hey man, are you dedicated? Can you actually stick to something and get through it? And I gotta say, for the past 17 weeks, when I barely started this, and even before talking about like preseason and stuff, I questioned if I could really do it. And man, this is it. This is the final episode for the season on weekly fantasy rankings, and I'm happy. I'm genuinely happy that I've made it this far. I will see y'all next season. I'm very committed to this YouTube thing, and I guess I answered my question whether or not I can really ride it out and do it. So here I am. Been with y'all from week 1. Some of y'all joined week through 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever week, even if you're joining for the first time this episode. I'm just happy to be here, but let's get to it. If you're new to these videos, if you don't know how we do things here, it's all right, because honestly, this week 17, since championship week, I will be altering how I typically do these things. I will actually be ranking running backs 1 through 25 and receivers 1 through 35. But I will say my favorite play of the week for 3 players from rank 1 through 10, 11 through 20, 21 through 30, and 31 through 40. Probably more so 1 player for running backs. And then a same thing for receivers, but 1 through 10, 1 through 11, 1 through 11, 1 through 10, 11 through 20, 21 through 30, 31 through 40, and 41 through 50. Receivers is much more deep than running backs, so I'll be able to talk more on that. But with that being said, let's get right into it. And the reason why, if you've watched past videos, why I'm actually ranking 1 through 25, it's because it's championship week. Whether you have a God squad or not, you're gonna have a decision to make. So considering that it's championship week, you're gonna want to definitely zone in. So first things first, we got Christian McCaffrey here, and I am not gonna lie, you have to start him. He's number 1 ranked on this list for a reason, but you can't even. This is the moment where you start your studs, and that's why I was always hesitant to talk about the top rankings. But considering, again, it's championship week, we're just gonna fly by. Austin Eckler, guys, you're obviously starting. Saquon, you're starting. And the only way you don't start them is if you're higher on a guy 11 to 20. But let's just keep going. No problems here. Dalvin Cook, I'd actually consider benching. Okay. Now I know for some of y'all be like, what do you mean I'm starting him? This is specifically for the people with God squads. If you're in the championship, you're at the chip. You're definitely someone who may have a squad full of savages. And what I mean by that is you have someone like Ken Walker or David Montgomery, Alvin Kamara, Najee Harris, Brad Robinson, all these guys ranked way below Dalvin Cook who could actually do some. Now, the only reason why I'd actually consider sitting Dalvin Cook is honestly he's extremely touchdown dependent, and it's just not an ideal scenario. He doesn't catch a whole lot of passes out of the backfield. He's ranked this high because he's against Green Bay and because it's going to be a divisional matchup and they're going to have to run the ball. But with that being said, my guess is he gets somewhere around 16 points PPR, which is really solid. Don't get me wrong. But I'd personally rather start someone like Ramondre Stevenson or even Joe Mixon, which are ranked lower. Again, this is for a specific scenario, but 99% of y'all are going to start Dalvin Cook anyway, because you have to. You have to start your studs. James Conner against Atlanta, you have to start. Atlanta is just not a good defense, period. James Conner is their running back to touch the end zone every time a running back touches the end zone. Definitely go to, especially when healthy. Travis Etienne Jr. is a must start against Houston's terrible run defense. You have to start Travis Etienne. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. A must start. Derrick Henry against Dallas D. Dallas D has been super garbage as of late, and I don't know what their problem is. But Malik Willis is not the answer. And I'm pretty sure Dallas will just zone in on the run defense. So Derrick Henry, I'm a little worried about this week. If you have the opportunity to bench him, let's say if you have someone like Christian McCaffrey and Austin Eckler for whatever reason, then yeah, I would say I'd rather start those two instead of Derrick Henry. Sorry. Josh Jacobs against San Francisco. With Jarrett Stidham starting, I'd actually just consider benching Josh Jacobs. Again, God squad people only. Reason being, because, well, you have no idea what that offense is going to look like. Devontae Adams, as awesome as he is, I don't think he's enough to make up for a bad quarterback play. And I'm not saying Jarrett Stidham is bad, but he's a backup for a reason. I just don't think this offense will get rolling against a good San Francisco defense, a really good San Francisco defense at that. Nick Chubb against Washington. I would say it'll be a solid start. Nothing more than that, though. I don't expect a blow-up game at this point of the season where their playoff contention is done and over with. Very touchdown dependent, obviously. Ramondre Stevenson, I really like against Miami. Miami's defense has been very just susceptible to opposing passing offenses, and Mac Jones loves to check it down because of play scheming and play calling, whatever the reason may be. Ramondre Stevenson catches the ball. So yeah, looking good against Miami. Joe Mixon against Buffalo. Buffalo's a solid defense, but I just don't think anyone can stop the Bengals offense aside from themselves. If Joe Burrow is going to be good, slick, obviously not turning the ball over, this offense will stay rolling. Ken Walker against the Jets, I'm a little concerned about because the Jets have a really good defense, and Seattle has been struggling offensively, very much so as of late. I definitely consider Ken Walker over someone like Tony Pollard or Swift even. That's just me though. David Montgomery against Detroit. Have to start. Detroit just got pounded on the rushing defense side of the thing, so you gotta play David Montgomery with confidence. Kamara against Philly, I'm a little worried about. Reason being, sorry, I'm really tired, guys. You guys know if you've been around, you know the drill. You know why, but Alvin Kamara against Philly, I'm a little concerned about just because New Orleans doesn't seem to have any sort of consistency, and Philly's defense is really solid. They didn't play solid so much against Dallas last week, but that's just not something you can count on every time. I think New Orleans is going to score somewhere around 20 points. I don't think they're going to score anything above 24, but somewhere around 20. That could hurt Kamara's value a little bit. Najee Harris against Baltimore. If you want 10 points, start Najee Harris. If you need 15 points, you're getting 10. If you need 5 points, you're getting 10. Okay, that's definitely an over-exaggeration. He's more likely going to get you like 14 points. My point is, Najee Harris is like the steadiest floor but no ceiling kind of guy ever. If you're playing against someone who's going to go off this week, try to bench Najee Harris for someone that is like blow up potential, because Najee Harris is not going to blow up. He is going to get you 14, 13, 15 points every time. Brian Robinson against Cleveland. Commanders are actually trying to compete. Cleveland not so much, but Cleveland still will try and win the game, of course, especially trying to develop Deshaun Watson into that offense before the season ends. They want to leave on a good note. With that being said, with Carson Wentz back, I'm not sure what that does for Brian Robinson. What I think it does do is boost Terry McLaurin and I think it boosts Curtis Samuel a lot. Sorry, Terry Scary is still going to be Terry Scary, whatever. It's still going to be really good. Brian Robinson Jr. is very touchdown dependent. AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones. I like AJ Dillon for a touchdown this week, and I like Aaron Jones for receptions. So PPR Aaron Jones, standard AJ Dillon. Jerick McKinnon, you have to start him. He's on a roll. Don't stop. Tony Pollard, I really do like this week. I think Ezekiel Elliott's probably going to get shut down because they're going to run it up the middle, or maybe some simple toss plays on the outside. But with Tony Pollard, obviously Tennessee's run defense is still elite, but any sort of checkdowns to him or anything out of the backfield, expect Tony Pollard to definitely take the load on. Miles Sanders against New Orleans. Miles Sanders, I think, makes up for last week's fumble and comes out this week banging. I would definitely start Miles Sanders. DeAndre Swift against a terrible Chicago defense. DeAndre Swift has been very frustrating for y'all all season, but Chicago's defense has been bleh. So start him. Cam Akers against Chargers, I'm benching. I don't want to start anyone against that Chargers D. It seems like they're coming to life very late on into the season. Cam Akers, I am benching without a doubt. Leonard Fournette, same thing. I'm benching. Doesn't look good right now. That offense looks terrible. But yeah, that was the top 25. And we'll actually rank our favorite 3 plays from 1 through 10 and so on and so forth. So our favorite 3 plays, I am going to say Travis Etienne for sure is probably my favorite play of the week. Whether he blows up the most or not is obviously a question, but dude, he is like a guarantee to do something. After that, I would say Saquon Barkley against Indiana Colts. Indianapolis Colts. Reason being is they just allowed 2 Austin Eckler touchdowns, and Saquon's probably going to get 2 touchdowns or at least 1 for sure. And after that, I'm going to say, well, Christian McCaffrey, because he's Christian McCaffrey. He's just too good. 11 through 20, we're going to go with Jerick McKinnon, Joe Mixon, and David Montgomery for reasons I described below. And 21 through 30, we're going to go Miles Sanders, DeAndre Swift, and we'll actually go Devin Singletary. I really like that James Cook Devin Singletary duo in the backfield. It's going to be hard to guess which one after each week does something, but Devin Singletary has been consistent, so I would just say Devin Singletary. 31 through 40 for all y'all that is in the championship but is desperate. We're going to say Rashad White, Zonovan Knight, since Mike White is back. Honestly, Zonovan White is probably a really, really good play here because Mike White is back. I actually like this play a lot. And then we'll go Jeff. No, because with Tua out, yeah, we're going to go Raheem Mostert with Tua out. They're going to need to run the ball a lot more. Jeff Wilson's not a bad play either at all. James Cook is not a nice sneaky play. I definitely wouldn't want to start Zach Moss. Yeah, that's where I'm at with that. Moving on to receivers. All right, so we're back here and we're going to do receivers now. And yeah, let's just get right into it. So at number 1, Justin Jefferson, you're starting Stephon Diggs, you're starting Jamar Chase. You are like, receivers are so good to where it's like all these guys are just like locks no matter who they're playing. I don't give a freak unless you got like Stephon and Justin in the same team and St. Brown. You're still gonna start Devontae Adams. Like I'm not gonna lie, guys. Like this is all under no circumstance could you even remotely think about benching any of these guys. Let's just start at 10 with Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen, though, you're still going to start against the Rams. You've been a reception whore in the best way possible for fantasy ownership, especially in PPR. Now, if you're in standard, not as ideal as of a start. I would probably lean to someone towards more. I would lean towards more so DK Metcalf or not Chris Godwin or Jalen Waddle, but Devonta Smith and like anything standard. But PPR, even half PPR, Keenan Allen's a beast. Going into DK Metcalf though against the Jets, I don't like the way Seattle's offense has been playing lately. It's been really just brutal. But DK Metcalf is still being really solid in the meantime. Now, I will say, if Sauce Gardner's on DK Metcalf, I'm a little more concerned. I wouldn't like to play as much, but if Sauce is on Tyler Lockett, that might be more ideal. Even then, I think, what is his name? DJ Reed. I believe that's their second corner. Still really, really good. So I'm not a big fan of DK Metcalf this week. I just think he doesn't explode against those elite defensive backs. Jalen Waddle against New England without Tua is just rough. I can't even imagine starting anyone other than Tyreek Hill. Is Tyreek Hill even on here? Yeah, he's 4. But yeah, anyone else other than Tyreek Hill, it's not an ideal situation at all. Chris Godwin against Carolina, I would say start, especially in PPR, specifically more so half PPR and PPR. Going to be a reception whore. Fournette doesn't get 9 catches again. That's just unrealistic to ask of. Devonta Smith, I would say, is a must start regardless of who's playing. I think they take advantage of New Orleans defense. And even then, Gardner Minshew is going to sling it to both of those guys, to be honest, A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. Mike Williams against the Rams, I'm a little more concerned because Mike Williams either explodes or implodes. And against the Rams, he's probably going to be on Keenan. So it could leave space for Mike Williams to do something crazy, but it's definitely a scary start. Garrett Wilson's a must start, probably a top 10 on my list if I were to do my own list. But Garrett Wilson is absolutely a must start. The reason being is Mike White is back, and when Mike White is there, the guy shows what he can really do. Obviously, Zach Wilson is the biggest bust that I personally can think of in the past decade. Why he jumped to number 2, like the thing that blows my mind is he was never supposed to be that high, but then the Jets out of nowhere, like, hey, Zach Wilson, let's take him at number 2. And a lot of people that don't really remember the draft night don't really think about it, but not necessarily the draft night, but the draft process, Zach Wilson out of nowhere just exploded onto the scene like, oh, Jets are taking him at number 2. Robert Saleh really loves this guy. The coaching staff really loves this guy. Or it's mind-boggling how bad he is. But Mike White's there. Wilson will be great. Terry McLaurin is definitely a solid start. Not sure what is going to happen now that Carson Wentz is there. Maybe more Jahan Dotson, maybe more Curtis Samuel, but we'll see. Jerry Jeudy's a must flex for sure. He still gets all the targets. He had targets last week, and as bad as their offense is, someone's got to catch the ball, and it's going to be him. DeAndre Hopkins against Atlanta. Always start D-Hop. Elite level talent, not on a great team, but D-Hop is just too good. Amari Cooper against Washington. Excuse me. Not at all something I want to be a part of, but low end flex play. I don't like that he's ranked this high. Deshaun Watson just hasn't been too solid. Christian Kirk and Zay Jones, I want to rank them together. Either one of these guys is going to go off, and the other one is probably going to produce not so good numbers. Last week, they both produced bad numbers. I just don't see them both having a good day, especially with Evan Ingram turning things up, and also Travis Etienne going to eat against Houston's poor rush defense. So yeah, I'm going to be very blunt, guys. Pick your poison. Either one of them's going to do good, and one of them's going to be literally your poison. So who would I bank on more to do good? Probably Christian Kirk. Still not an ideal situation though. DJ Moore against Tampa, I would like to bench. Tampa's D is still pretty solid, even though their offense is dog water. I would prefer to bench DJ Moore. Juju Smith-Schuster against Denver. Patrick Mahomes is going to eat no matter who he plays. I would say Juju's a decent flex play, nothing too crazy, but probably get at least 10 points PPR. Mike Evans against Carolina. Mans hasn't had a touchdown in 11 games or something. It's been some wild. Mike Evans just is not really startable. You could hope for the best, but it's just not ideal. And if he does have a touchdown this week, then it's been 11 games. That's not something you can just predict. Brandon Ayuk against Las Vegas. Las Vegas is going to be terrible this week. They are benching Derek Carr. Not that Derek Carr was phenomenal anyway, but yeah, I just touchdown dependent. I would say Brandon Ayuk is. Zay Jones, toss up, coin flip, go at your own accord, man. That one's a tough one. Allen Lazard against Minnesota. Green Bay is fighting for their playoff lives right now. I gotta say, I'm not a big fan of any Green Bay receivers. Even I don't know if Christian Watson's healthy or not. I don't know what's going on there. But if he's not healthy, Allen Lazard might be a decent play. But Drake London is a solid start. They have been throwing it his way this point late in the season. Look at his game log. He's definitely been playing really solid. I would say definitely good flex play. Don't expect an explosion, but you can expect 14, 13 points in PPR, half PPR, at least 9 points. Something along the lines of that. Gabe Davis against Cincinnati. Honestly, I said start Gabe Davis last week. My leg fell asleep. I feel it in my bones. Okay, sorry. Gabe Davis against Cincinnati. I would say start. I think he can definitely get a big play against Cincy in what could be a high-scoring affair. Gabe Davis, solid flex play. Jahan Dotson has been playing really well. If you just go off of his game log, it's past 3 games. Just been doing everything, been doing the most. I would say solid flex. DeAndre Johnson against Baltimore, that's going to be tough. A tough sell for me to make to you guys as well, especially since Baltimore is going to keep that game relatively low scoring. We're talking about like a 14-17 kind of game. Maybe even like a 13-17 kind of game. Something along the lines of that. DeAndre Johnson's not an ideal start. Jacoby Myers, same thing. Cortland Sutton, same thing. Michael Pittman Jr., if Nick Foles starts again, not a good start, period. DJ Chark is actually a solid start. I don't know why he's always ranked so low on this list, but these aren't my rankings, so I don't really care. But DJ Chark has been playing really solid. Not so much 2 weeks ago, but last week he had 4 catches, 100 yards. Like before that, he played solid. I do like the aspect of DJ Chark. Marquise Hollywood Brown against Atlanta. I gotta say, I'm not too hot on this, but low end flex just for the talent alone. George Pickens against Baltimore. You're gonna get a low scoring game here. I'm gonna avoid that. Darius Slayton, I'm avoiding. Donovan People-Jones, I'm avoiding. And Brandon Cooks, I would prefer to avoid. Now let's get into our favorite plays. 1 through 10. We gotta go Justin Jefferson. He's gonna eat for sure. We gotta go Amon St. Brown off of volume alone. And we gotta go CeeDee Lamb against Tennessee's terrible pass defense. I do want to say these names, especially in what could be a high scoring affair, but I'm going for the safety nets and CeeDee, Jay Jettis, and Amon St. Brown. 11 through 20, we're gonna go Devonta Smith, Garrett Wilson, 100%. He'd even be on 1 through 10 if I would say his name. And let's go with Jerry Jeudy. 21 through 30, we're gonna say Drake London, Gabe Davis, Jahan Dotson. 31 through 40, we will go DJ Chark. And oh god. And Curtis Samuel at 42, I'll just bring him up. And I'm gonna try to give y'all one more name, at least. No, we're gonna give you 2 names. 42, Curtis Samuel, and 35, DJ Chark. I said before, I'll say it again. I appreciate you guys, whether you're someone who just caught on now or caught on week 4 or 5 or whatever week you started watching these videos. Appreciate you for watching very, very much. I will be back next season, but stay around for the channel if you want to see more football content or basketball content or anime or who the freak knows what the hell I'm gonna post next, because I just be posting this shit, bro. Like I don't really have any consistency as to what I love to post. Once I find something, I just roll with it. That's kind of the point of this channel, though, just to bring something different, bring a community together. And yeah, I'm really stoked that we got through the season. Every single week we posted videos. It's been fun. It's been amazing. I will be posting playoff content for NFL, so be looking forward to that. But for any of my fantasy people, anyone who's just watching for that, I will see you next season. If you do come back, I will be here 100%. As long as I'm alive, which I plan on being, I will be here. This has been Ollie Been Different. It's been a pleasure. On We Been Different. And we out.